Hey, hi, welcome back. Sushant here. So we are discussing about Azure Kubernetes services, and today we are going to chat about how Kubernetes works. So this is a basic flow how we are going to discuss in this session which component basically use for the simple workflow in Kubernetes. So let's get started. So these are the virtual machines we can install. It is on nodes we can call. It is actually take a workload of our application and run the application. On that underlying VMs, we have the Kubernetes API. So basically Kubernetes API directly talk with the VMs and execute the commands which we are going to fire from the kubectl command line interface, or whatever the desired state we are going to set, it will communicate with the VM and execute the changes. In Kubernetes, we have resources like pods. So pods are the smallest unit in Kubernetes, and that is imperial, amperial. So means it is come, born and die. So whenever we create any pod, so when we scale up, scale down, it will automatically terminate those pods. But until unless we are not going to stop it, it will be keep running. So our data inside the pod will be as it is. Until unless we are not going to terminate any pods. The second part is the second resource is services. So services is basically for use for the communication when we want to you access the application from outside the cluster. So we use a service. A deployment. You can describe a desired state in a deployment, and the deployment controller changes the actual state to the desired state. When we are going to give the when we are going to actually deploy any application on the pods, so that time we are going to provide a desired state configuration. Okay, desired state basically how many replica set we need, which port should be open, which how the which image it should be used. So these are the desired state we are going to provide. Deployment basically is the component we day to day in activity in Kubernetes. We use the deployment instead of the directly individual pods. We use the deployment. We directly manage the deployment. We scale the deployment. We declare new state of pods in deployment. We do deployment rollout and a replica set, pause the deployment and roll back if we are going to update our application. So we update application as well as roll back the application using a deployment. So the deployment is important because we are managing the deployment. Inside the deployment could be multiple pods. We are not going to manage individual pods. Instead of managing individual pods, we are going to directly manage the deployments. So assume we want to deploy a web application service. Not a web application service. We want to use deploy a web application normal. So that is a website we want to deploy. So for the deploy anything, we have to write a YAML file. Okay. So we have just taken a deploy.yaml file. So into these are the YAML format syntax we will use to provide the desired state. When we just have with YAML, so we will use the kubectl. So basically the kubectl is a command line interface which talk to our Kubernetes API. So when it is talk to Kubernetes API, it is use the HTTP protocol to communication with the API server. But API understand the JSON format and we are providing YAML format. So it will be parsed to this JSON and provide to the Kubernetes API. For example, if you create a YAML file, set a replica state, replica to 3 pods, and we type the command kubectl apply with f switch, that is a file we are going to provide deploy.yaml. So once we will hit the command, it will post that desired state to the API. API execute the or send to the controller, and controller execute and deploy the pods. So 3 pods are active and running. Okay. So what if I want to access this pod from the outside cluster? To access the outside cluster, I need to deploy a service. Okay, so I need to deploy this service. When I deploy any service, it automatically load balance. Okay, it will be automatically load balance. It will distribute the traffic. So once I will deploy this service, I can able to access the application from the outside the cluster. What if I want to access this cluster, access the application from the external network? So for that one, we need to use external load balancer. Basically, when we create an external load balancer type service, it automatically create a cloud network LB. This provides PIP and send traffic to correct port on your cluster. So when you are going to spin up or deploy any external load balancer service, it automatically create the load balancer with IP address and it will send to the traffic to the internal ports. So we are able to use from internet by using the PIP, or if you giving the any valid host name or FQDN, we can able to access that PIP, and PIP will send the traffic with proper port on your cluster. So this is the way from the start, when we start the deploying to accessing the specific web application. So we will discuss more and more on this part. I'm going to stop here. Hope you will understand this, and see you at next session at create a Kubernetes cluster. Thank you.